Hello, everyone. Welcome again to this Powerboost lunchtime meditation. And today's topic, karma. Every thought matters. And it is useful to remind ourselves that karma does not really begin with what we do in terms of physical actions, but karma begins with what we think and how we think, and our thought patterns, and the different factors that give rise to our thoughts. And thinking about karma, we can think about it as a kind of a bank account. Whatever action we performed, action at the physical level, physical actions, action in terms of what we speak, actions in terms of what we think and how we think, but also the actions of our attitude and our vision and our perspective on things, a broader view of life that we hold, because those things inform our thoughts. So every karma is like a building block for the future. Every karma is like a deposit in that bank account for the future, or a withdrawal, depending on the quality of the karma. And so to think of karma only in the context of what I do or say or how I behave is very limited, because all of that is informed by why I think what I think, and how I think what I think, and how, of course, I bring those thoughts into actions. So all those levels we need to take into consideration. So even if I don't say anything, but I have a negative thought, because my attitude is one of insecurity or is one of animosity, because of my broader perspective that I have nothing to do with you and you should behave in a certain way, that expectations are normal. If that is my deeper model to life, my attitude towards life, then my thoughts will be like that. And then my actions will be like that. And so every action is like a brush stroke on the canvas of my future, of my destiny. So, what am I depositing? What is the quality of that brush stroke? And just to reflect on all those levels. But the easy way to shift it around, to become aware of this and to shift it around, is to check your thoughts. Of course, you can also check your words and your actions, but the seeds of your words and your actions also reside at the level of thought. So if I have a positive thought, a thought of kindness, a thought of appreciation, it comes from a deeper attitude of connectedness or wanting to cooperate or wanting to help bring out the best, that there is an environment in which everyone can grow. And so that would be considered good karma. Now, higher quality of karma comes from if those thoughts and that perspective is spiritual and spiritually uplifting. And at the very least, thoughts influence how I feel, influence the energy that I hold in my mind and the vibrations that are spread through the quality of the atmosphere in my mind. So if I have a negative thought, for whatever reason, whatever attitude behind that, I myself am pulling myself down and blocking myself from experiencing something more pleasant, something maybe even more elevated. But when that thought becomes expressed in words or actions, it also may pull others down. And all of that informs my future. All of that creates the bank account with which I can operate tomorrow or day after tomorrow or next year or even another lifetime. And so it is very useful to realize every thought matters. If I have a thought of jealousy, then at least my own mind is polluted. If I have a thought of jealousy and rejection, it will show in my eyes, it will show on my face, it will come in my words, my energy, and others will also feel that. Now, how will they respond to that? What is it that will come back to me? Now, the deepest level at which we can work for the best quality of karma is at the level of our awareness. And if we hold that soul awareness, that awareness that we are invisible spiritual beings, and that we are all spiritual beings, souls belonging to that same family, belonging to that same supreme soul, belonging to that same home of souls, the dimension beyond matter. And we have come here to play a part. If that is in our awareness, that would be considered the highest perspective, the perspective with which we can play this game from a place of fullness, not neediness, not demanding. We can play this game from a state of mastery and freedom instead of a state of dependency, a beggar mindset, neediness. And that makes all the difference. So it will be useful for us to observe the quality of our thoughts, to begin to step back and learn to guide your thoughts and to choose what kind of thoughts I have and to check what are the impressions and the attitude from which this thought arises. And through meditation, through understanding of the deeper spiritual truths of life, I can shift my awareness and I can shift my belief systems or tweak them. And then higher quality of thoughts can emerge. Meditation is the practice of guiding your thoughts, choosing spiritual thoughts, and allowing that experience to emerge so that my inner impressions become colored by spiritual understandings. So let's have a few minutes of silence and of guided meditation in which I will speak a few words and see if you can follow them. And maybe you can get inspiration on what can the content be of my thoughts, at least during meditation. Shift things around in your head. So we allow the body to become comfortable and shift the attention inwards. And inwards means become aware of what is going on in your mind. And consciously choose your thoughts. Let us begin with asking the self, am I remembering that I am a soul and that this body is a temporary costume? And on the screen of the mind, hold that image of a tiny point of light, a living star, free, timeless, living light. And just hold this image in the mind of the star and just fill your mind with this awareness of the self as a peaceful, free, living light. The body is part of the physical world, part of the toys in the game of human life. And the soul is the player using the body to play the game. The real self is eternal, immortal, peaceful, free, living light. And every thought of peace, every thought of truth, every thought of kindness, of forgiveness, of love is like a seed. The more powerful the seed, the sweeter the fruit that will grow from it. And so, as we choose to end this short meditation, let me ask myself, what kinds of thoughts will I hold in my mind, will I create today? You roughly know what will happen today, what you will do today. So what kind of good karma thoughts can you hold in your mind? Even if there is a challenging situation or some person, you know beforehand. So prepare your mind. How can I make good deposits in my bank account of destiny? And make time every day to sit for some meditation, to reset, and to remind yourself that every thought matters. Thank you.